Hey guys, what's going on? Friday and here, you guys know what to do. As always, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Of course, the setup has changed a little bit. We're going to be rolling with this for a little while. Let me know what you guys think of this one down in the comment section down below. But today we're going to be talking about a few different transfer stories, and I think you're going to enjoy, so make sure you stick around, watch the whole video. So the first story is about Bakayoko, and Chelsea have set a €35 million asking price for him if they're going to sell him. Now, we know Bakayoko never really was able to perform at Chelsea, but whenever he went away on loan, he seemed to be able to perform quite well. So, you know, he's held it pretty well, but clubs know we're not looking to keep him because he can't perform for us. For some reason, it must be London or the club, the players that we have. We don't know what it is, but it's something. And there's an interested party, but they are only willing to pay about €30 million. So we would be making a loss on Bakayoko, which is a bit of a shame, but the business side of the stuff doesn't really come back around to us fans. So that's at least one positive, is, you know, it's not going to affect us, but in terms of the club, yes, they're going to end up losing money on this one. So PSG are the interested club, so you hear PSG and you think, damn, we're going to get some money from this deal. Unfortunately not. We paid about €40 million, they're willing to pay 30 million, so it's going to be difficult. We've got a difficult bargaining position because we don't want to keep him, and I think most clubs can see that, but he has performed well when he's not been with us. So, you know, you've got to consider that we do have some bargaining power. Like, realistically, if he's happy with it, we could just keep sending him out on loan until someone is willing to pay the fee. But I think Chelsea are just going to cut their losses and say, look, we'll lose about 10 million or so, and we're just going to have to deal with it because we're not going to get our money back. One thing to note is that he is currently on loan at Monaco, and we did have an option to buy €43 million in that contract with him, but they are apparently not interested in taking up the offer. So even though he's performed decently, I think, whilst he's been out there, they're not interested in taking up the offer. So it looks like it's going to be PSG, which is crazy to think that they're going to get a bargain on their hands if he's able to perform up there, which I think he will. I think he'll do all right out in France. They're going to get a player for cheap that is going to perform well, I think. And we're just going to have to sort of lose out on it, which is a bit of a shame, but it's how it's going to have to be. And I think it's important for us at the moment to get rid of players that, you know, are sort of deadwood at the club. So you're talking your Danny Drinkwaters, your Bakayoko, those sort of players. We don't want to be paying their wages. You know, we don't know what the current deal is, whether Monaco are currently paying all of his wages or if they're paying half of his wages or whatever. So he's on loan there. We just need to get rid of him in terms of, you know, our wage bill. That'd be real good if we can just reduce that wage bill. And, you know, when it comes to buying players like Sancho or Timo Werner that we're going to be talking about in a second, it does come around to help because, you know, your wage bill isn't as high, so you can afford to pay a little more for a transfer fee or put those wages towards those players. So we've seen Chelsea linked with Moussa Dembele for quite a while now. You know, I feel like it happened in the January transfer window, and since then it's always sort of had a light bit of flame to that rumour, and it's just been going around and around and around that Chelsea, you know, sort of interested. They don't want to pay the full price, and been going back and forth. Well, apparently Manchester United have agreed a deal for Moussa Dembele, which will cost them around £61 million, which is quite a lot. We knew the fee was going to be high for Moussa Dembele to leave Lyon, and apparently that is the deal that is going to be happening. One thing to consider with that deal is Jadon Sancho. If they're buying Moussa Dembele for £61 million, if, you know, this report is true and this is what goes through, are they also going to be spending 100 plus million maybe on Jadon Sancho? I think not, and I think that's a very good sign for Chelsea in terms of the Jadon Sancho deal, because that means, you know, they've spent a lot of their funds. We know United have got a lot of revenue coming in, but at a time like this, not a lot of clubs are going to want to spend big. We took a window out, so we didn't spend any money, and we had sold Hazard, you know, which brought in a lot of money for us. So I think we're in a better position to get Jadon Sancho now because of this, and that's not sort of what the article is going into, but that's just my personal sort of appearance of this, perception rather of this. I really do think that this gives us a bit of a boost in the Jadon Sancho deal. But let's go further down into this article, because this article is 6 key signings for the top 6 clubs. So let's move on to Chelsea's one, and that is Timo Werner. Now, we all know that Timo Werner has been linked with Liverpool to God's end. Like, it's just been all over the place. It's just been Timo Werner this, Timo Werner that, Liverpool. Apparently he really likes the idea of going to Liverpool, and I do think there is merit to those sort of talks. Like, I think he sees Firmino as he's not the same sort of striker that Timo is. Timo's a goal scorer. You'll hear a lot of Liverpool fans saying that Firmino is like a defensive striker and he's more about the support and, you know, the build up to the goal rather than the goal itself. I do think there's some merit to it, but he certainly isn't one of the elite goal scorers around, and Timo Werner is. So I can see why he wants to go there, because I think he thinks I can push Firmino out of the team easily. But I do think that might cause problems for the structure of Liverpool's play, and you know, there's talks of them maybe going after Jadon Sancho. So maybe if they do sort of reform the team and they get rid of Mane or Salah, and then maybe they'll think, you know what, we need a striker to go along with this, because our front three sort of dynamic is changing. So they may still go for him, and that could cause problems, obviously, for us, because apparently he prefers to move there compared to Chelsea. But if we can get our hands on Timo Werner, I think that would be a great signing. It's a £52 million release clause that is reported to be in his contract. So you're looking at, yes, a good chunk of money, but you're getting a really good striker out of it, and he's also pretty young. Tammy Abraham can learn off him, and we are going to have two great strikers on our books, which I think will be really good for us. And then at that point, you consider what other signings do Chelsea need to make. So I would say a left back, definitely. I think I can consider keeper, you know, a goalkeeper not an essential signing. I think it would be a luxury if we end up getting Onana, but I don't think it's a signing that we need to make. I think we're happy with Kepa. We can definitely improve on left back. A good centre back, I think, would be solid, and maybe offload one of Christensen or Rudiger maybe. Our midfield is definitely fine. We definitely need to bring in wingers, whether it's Jeremy Boga, Dries Mertens can play on the wing, Aubameyang can play on the wing, Jadon Sancho can definitely play on the wing, and that's what I'd like to see happen. And then another goal scorer up front I think would be a really good deal. So if we can address those positions, I think would be good. And Timo Werner is definitely one that I think we need, and he's definitely one that is top of my list. The player at the top, of course, is Jadon Sancho, but other than that, I think I would be going for Timo Werner as my next best. Maybe Alex Telles, but I think that one's looking a little less likely as the days go on. So something I want to start doing at the end of these videos is answering some of your guys' questions. So from this point on, if you have any questions for me, leave them in the comment section down below, and I will answer them in the next video. So obviously you want to make sure you're subscribed so you see if your comment comes up in the next video. But I did leave it a little late. I posted in the comments, I didn't mention it at the end of the last video, so I'm just going to pick a random comment to sort of address from yesterday's video. So I've chosen PKD Football's comment, and he said, "Will the signing of Angel Gomes hurt Callum Hudson-Odoi's growth? By the way, great vid, this is so informative." So first of all, thank you. I love hearing compliments about the video, so yeah, thank you for that part. But in terms of Angel Gomes hurting Callum Hudson-Odoi's growth, yeah, in a way, it definitely could. Of course, we saw that he can play sort of centrally, centre mid, or on the left side when we're talking about Angel Gomes there. So it definitely could hurt Callum Hudson-Odoi if we use him as a winger, and it's not something I want to see, because I do think Callum Hudson-Odoi has great potential, and I think he needs to work on maybe a bit of his end product, so assists and goals. I think his assists are going to come quite naturally, but goals are something I think he'd need to work on. Other than that, he's pretty good with his pace, his beating of like a player, his dribbling. It's all pretty good. So like maybe decision making and finishing, as well as working on your crossing. I think we'll see a really good player come out of Callum Hudson-Odoi. So yes, it could stunt his growth if Angel Gomes comes to start. But the situation I'd like to see happen with Angel Gomes is we buy him, we loan him out somewhere, a fairly big club, like how we sort of done with Ethan Ampadu to RB Leipzig. Of course, ideally they'll get the playing time. I'm annoyed that Ethan doesn't get the playing time that he deserves out in Leipzig, but we don't, to a club like that that's not top tier, but it's maybe just the tier below, and let them have a season out there. If they perform really well, then you can come back and you can look at getting into the starting team. But I don't want Angel Gomes as a straight up starter. I don't think he's ready for it, and I'd be surprised if he thinks the same, although we can definitely give him opportunities if we do keep him at the club. And he's just a substitute winger, in that maybe we're starting with, imagine the dream scenario, we buy Jadon Sancho and maybe Pulisic, then Callum and Angel Gomes would be fighting for the winger spots. So sort of how we have at the moment, because we've got 4 wingers at the moment: Willian, Pedro, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Christian Pulisic. So 2 people have to be fighting for their spot, and the younger you are, I think the more you have to accept that maybe you don't get those chances to start, but you certainly do get opportunities throughout the season to prove your point and show your worth to the manager, in that, like, I'm worth trusting, give me a chance. So that's what I think on the matter. Thank you for commenting, PKD Football. Again, comment your thoughts or questions down in the comment section down below, and I'll certainly address them in tomorrow's video. That's going to be the end of the video, guys. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I have taken a couple of days off, and our target was 3,000 subscribers by the end of this month, but I'm not sure we're going to hit that at the moment. But hell, give it a go, see if we can do it, guys. So make sure you do subscribe, stay up to date with all the videos and all the latest Chelsea news. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.